Welcome to this edition of ABI's Quick Bit video series. I'm Lisa Fox, and I'm here with Sean Yolish with Merit Resources, and we're talking about Obamacare, PPACA, the Patient Protection Care Act, whatever they call it. And a lot of our members aren't really sure whether they are held to the mandate or not. Can you talk about how you determine that?
Yeah, I can. The mandate refers to whether you have 50 full-time equivalents or not.
Okay.
The government has, for the first time that I'm aware of, has defined full and part-time employees. Full-time equivalents is not your traditional calculation. Traditionally, you would calculate full-time equivalents by hours worked divided by 2,080 every year to get a full-time equivalent. What they've decided now for this purpose is anybody who works an average of more than 30 hours a week for every month is considered a full-time employee. So they add as a 1. And then you add up all of the other hours of all of the non-full-time employees and divide that by 120 hours on a month-by-month basis to determine how many FTEs or full-time equivalents you have for calculating this. So for 2014, to determine whether you're on you meet the threshold or not, you would look back at the year 2013 and every month do that calculation for the hours worked for part-time employees, divided by 120 to get your full-time equivalents on a month-to-month basis. Add to that each month your full-time employees who average more than 30 hours a week. Then you add up all of those full-time equivalents and divide it by 12 to see if over the course of the year you had 50 full-time equivalents for coverage under the Act.
Wow.
Now, of course, if you did, then you are required to either provide coverage with essential benefits that meet minimum actuarial value. Both of those are still yet to be determined at some levels. And then, if you do, and it's affordable, there is no penalty. If you don't, there's a $2,000 fine per year. It's actually broken out on a month-to-month basis, depending on whether you meet the thresholds or not. They take the first 30 FTEs off, so you get a grace of the first 30, but then it's a $2,000 annual fee or excise tax for each person that would have otherwise had coverage. If it's not affordable, in other words, if it exceeds, the employee-only premium exceeds 9.5% of that employee's income on an annual basis based on their W-2 wages, and it's $3,000 if that any one employee who that affects gets a subsidy within the exchange, because the only way the employee can get a subsidy is in the exchange is if they do not, their employer doesn't offer coverage or the coverage is unaffordable. So if it's unaffordable, only one employee gets a subsidy within the exchange, then for that income bracket of employees is a $3,000 penalty for each person that it's unaffordable for. The only grace to that is that $3,000 penalty per person cannot exceed what it would have been if you didn't offer health insurance at all. So you wouldn't go over $2,000 for each person for the $3,000 penalty. And then you have to look on a month-to-month basis. There's a lot of facts to determine that each individual business is unique on who is a full-time employee, who's a part-time employee, who is seasonal employees. How would you know when you hire an employee whether it's reasonably expected that they would be full-time or not? There is some look-forward and look-back provisions that are somewhat complicated. But these are things that we have to look forward to come 2014, and really need to start preparing ourselves here in 2013. It really starting to look closely at hours worked and how we classify our employees.
Okay, so just so we're clear, ABI is a client of Merit. We don't have to worry about any of this.
That would be correct.
Okay, good.
Let me amend that. You have to worry about it a little bit, but we're going to provide you all the information to make some decisions on.
Thank you.
That are critical for you. There's going to be quite a bit of effort for any business owner to just track this on an ongoing basis.
It sounds absolutely awful. So thank you for this great news today. Really appreciate it. Sean Yolish and Merit Resources is part of ABI's Advisory Council. We meet monthly and identify issues facing Iowa companies and work really hard to provide solutions to them. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate the information.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate the opportunity.